Hey you guys, it's me, Deja Marie. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is completely inspired by the pattern on this quilt that I got on clearance because it is way too hot to be buying quilts right now. As far as size goes, this is a queen size quilt. So I'm going to take everything out of the container and see how much material I have to work with, which would be the entire quilt and 2 pillowcases. The quilt itself is enough material for this project, so I'm not going to be using the pillowcases. To make my jacket, the first thing I'm going to do is take a shirt that I already like the size and fit of, a little oversized, and I'm going to trace it out. Since it's going to be a jacket, I'm going to over trace my shirt and add seam allowance to make sure it fits right. I am working with my material folded in half so that when I cut it out, I'll have 2 pieces, a front panel and a back panel. And because my jacket is going to have a zipper down the middle, I'm going to take my shirt and fold it in half to make sure that I get a perfect middle line. And I'm going to draw one line down the middle of the shirt, so that will mark where I'm going to cut the center front of my jacket. Now that my body pieces have been cut out, I'm going to sew from under the arms to the bottom on both sides and both shoulder seams closed. Now I can move on to the sleeves. My quilt is on a fold, so when I cut out my sleeve, it's going to be just 1 sleeve instead of 2 like the body pieces. But this time I'm using a jacket that I like the size and fit of to trace the sleeve, instead of just using the shirt so I can get the length correct. And once my sleeves are cut out, I can go ahead and sew the straight edge closed. And once I cut out this sleeve, I'm going to use this as a template to make another sleeve just exactly like it. Make sure that when you're tracing your sleeve, you get that top curvature piece right, because there have been so many times when I've made sleeves and I did not get the curvature piece right that when I tried it on afterwards, the shoulders did not fit properly. Now that both of my sleeves are cut out, I thought it was the perfect time to move on to the pockets. I thought I'd like to put pockets on my jacket, so I decided to trace the pockets from this jacket that I already had. Since I already liked how deep they were and they were like the perfect hand size for me, I kind of felt like this was a weird way to trace the pockets, but I put the material over the pockets and I felt around and drew as I was filling the pockets. After I finished the pockets, I really wish that I had made them bigger since they didn't feel the same when I finished. Once all my pieces were cut out, I decided to roll up all my material and lay down all my pieces so I can see what I had to work with, what I was going to sew together first. And that would have been the body pieces, and then put on the sleeves, and then put on the pockets. Cannot express enough how important it is to make sure that you put the sleeve in the sleeve hole the correct way. I have sewn sleeves to garments with the sleeve inside out. I have sewn the sleeve to the garment with the garment inside out, and it's just so frustrating and irritating to have to seam rip it back off and do it all over again. Besides that, I'm going to pin my pockets down so they don't go moving around while I'm sewing them together and sewing the zipper on. After sewing everything together, I can move on to making my collar. I did have measurements for the collar, but then I realized that it was way too big. So I had to take it off and cut it smaller and then re-sew the entire thing back on. Now I cut out these different A's out of different materials. The tan one is a thin material, so it's going to go on top of the black A, which is a denim. And then the silver A was like a silky kind of material, and then the blue A is made out of denim. And then I'm just going to play around with the placement of all of my pieces to figure out which way I like it the best. And then I'm going to go ahead and sew them all together onto the front and the back of my jacket. I sewn 6 of these on, by the way, and they took forever. It was like a 2-day project just to get all these little A's on the shirt. Last but not least, I can finally sew my zipper on. Everything was going so well with the project until my presser foot broke, and now it won't sew anything anymore. Other than that, this is how my final result came to be. I absolutely love the way my jacket turned out. It is so cute and it's functional. The pockets work. Everything about it is so amazing. I love the color scheme. It's not too feminine. It's not too masculine. I love it. It can be worn as a shirt. You can dress it up. You can dress it down. I want to thank you guys for watching this video, and I want you to tell me in the comments what you think about what I did, what I could have done better, what I could have changed. Would it be look different if it was a different color? Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.